First of all, let me say the reason we did not comment or answer it, we laughed about it because it is it's a ridiculous statement. We come here to observe every participant. Just a day before we were with President Mnangagwa, and we went through many things there. And before then, the first group we met was Mr. Mpofu, the Secretary General of ZANU-PF, with his entire team. And we exchanged ideas. So if you take a picture with me and Mr. Mpofu and you support CCC, then you create a story. He has been, he's favoring ZANU-PF. Then you don't understand the role of observers. If we don't go where he is, how will we observe? Observing means you are seeing. So we went to see, but we did not go with him. That was the naughtiness of that story. And that is why we did not answer it. Somebody decided to say we went with him. No, we didn't. We were at that polling station when Mr. Chamisa came. We made no contact with him. We didn't speak with him. We were observing from far. He left without any eye contact. And if that is wrong, then why are we here? Why do we come here and put on this jacket if we are not supposed to see what these people are doing? What if he had been beaten there, or he claims that they didn't allow him to vote? How do we know? How do we stand by that if we never observe? So I think we felt, sorry for using this word, we felt it was a cheap article which might have had a reason behind it. That's really what we say. And let me be clear, this country is Zimbabwe. And I hope this doesn't get me into trouble again. This is where President Mugabe comes from. A man that really explained to us in the region what it means to be nationalistic. We don't do these elections, and we need to get that out of our minds. This thing going around that you are West or East. Some of us, and the SADC principles, we don't do these elections for the West or for the East. We do them for ourselves. And if we are not original in the manner we're doing these elections, we always point at each other, you are with the West. When they're voting in America, do they say we are on Africa's side or we are on Asia's side? They just vote on their side. And so I think let's get away from that and concentrate on what is our interest as Africa, as Africans, and as we vote. Let's not always say we are doing it for this one or for that one. Let's do it for ourselves. I thought it was important for me to clear that. I didn't want to talk about it, but you started it. That's why I have decided to answer it. No, sir. We were basically doing our job for which we were sent by our bosses from Mutsvangwa to make sure that we do the right thing. There's another question about the flyers. Yes. Yeah, we had... We saw the flyers. All we can say ourselves is that it's unfortunate. We've taken note of that, and we are anticipating or expecting, that Zimbabwe itself and the security wings must investigate and find out who is behind that, because I think that affects the electoral process. Some people pick it up, read it, and believe the message that was there, and they don't go and vote. And that is really interfering with the electoral process. So we are demanding that the security wings of Zimbabwe must investigate and find out who is responsible for that, and take them to task. And, if that in any way would have affected the election, I think that is too early to tell. I think let's just say that we have condemned that, and I think it's a desperate move by whosoever did it. I think I'm done for that.
Well, there you have it, guys. SADC has spoken. This is Dr. Mumba, the guy Angach Taura. He's the head of the SADC Observer Mission, appointed by President Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia. ZANU-PF is used to the past, still stuck in the past, used to that issue. Kuti SADC would always rubber stamp and whitewash all the nonsense that ZANU-PF does, right? But this time around, they've been caught in flagrante, and for the first time, in the history of Zimbabwean elections, SADC is finally speaking truth to power and saying things as they are, right? And ZANU-PF starts panicking, you know? And it's crazy that because they announced yesterday that they won. Patrick Chinamasa said they've won the presidential race 60% and they have a 2/3 majority. If they have a 2/3 majority, why are they panicking? I'm sure some of you, maybe all of you, will know that they raided my offices as ZESNI and confiscated equipment and gadgets and arrested ZESNI officers. And the allegations are, well, they wanted to announce the results together with Chamisa. Yet, after doing that, which is of course crazy, right? That is unfounded. But after doing that, they themselves announce the results. They say Chamisa and ZESNI are going to announce results and that is illegal. Soon after doing that, they themselves announce results. They declare themselves, they say they've won live on ZBC. Imagine. And you expect SADC to just whitewash everything. Of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Report here SADC is just preliminary, okay? They will issue a comprehensive one after my results are declared on EZEC, right? But so far, so good. At least for the first time in history, SADC is finally standing with the people. Finally, standing for what is right. We can take small gains. With ZANU-PF, we can at least take, these small gains. But in my video yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday, I clearly said it, that, look, we expected ZANU-PF to do all these crazy things. We expected ZANU-PF to rig. We expected ZANU-PF to not make it fair for the opposition. We knew it wasn't going to be fair, but we underestimated them. We did not think they would sink this low. They've sunk so low, shame. No one could have predicted that. Oh, at least I didn't predict it. I knew it would be unfair, but not to that level. To the level of literally spending the whole day Mutsvangwa voter. That was a new law. But if you look at it, it was a calculated move. They are not crazy, these people. They know what they are doing. It was well calculated to target my strongholds, the opposition. If you look at it, it affected mainly Harare, Bulawayo, and Manicaland, mainly. And those are the strongholds of opposition. In the 2018 election, Chamisa won Harare. He also won Bulawayo. He also won Manicaland. So they're trying to frustrate the voters. Remember, Harare alone is the highest number of registered voters. Okay? Almost 1 million. In fact, if you include Chitungwiza, more than 1.2 million. Actually, way more than that. Okay, I stand to be corrected on the actual figure, but it's way over 1 million if you include Chitungwiza, the number of registered voters. Right? So they're trying to frustrate people. Right? So imagine how many people gave up after all that chaos, Muswa 23, disenfranchising voters, it was a calculated move. It's voter suppression 2.0 to frustrate, the supposed, strongholds of the opposition. And that obviously benefits ZANU-PF. There is no way, a competent observer can just, rubber stamp this and say, yes, nothing is amiss. Definitely, this election is rigged. Chero Chamisa right now against a winner. Zeki kaita press conference right now, ikavayati duly elected Nelson Chamisa. This election remains not free, it remains not fair, and definitely not credible. Chamisa aga winner, you would have just won an election that is not free and fair and definitely not credible. It will only mean the cries of the people, the voice of the people was just way too much. This almost unbelievable level of rigging an election. And I'm sure some of you who are on Twitter, you would have seen that this Benson Matinyara, a guy saying that the environment, is uneven, the playing field is uneven because of sanctions. So therefore, ZANU-PF should rig the election because of sanctions. Imagine. And the guy calls himself an academic. He calls himself a Pan-Africanist. No Pan-Africanism, yoyo. Well done, Dr. Mumba. Well done.